what is our next main topic today?
Next one, guys, is from Ricky Gonzales. News recently broke out saying Warner Brothers are not attending San Diego Comic-Con. I find this odd because they have King Kong vs. Godzilla coming out next year along with multiple DC movies. Not only that, but It Chapter 2 and Joker both come out this fall, and I was expecting these properties to have panels showing us footage and all the good stuff. What do you think the reason is? Thank you for everything you guys do, and keep up the great work.
Yeah, we alluded to this back when we were talking about the Wonder Woman poster, that I believe part of the motivation for that poster was deflection away from the fact that Warner Brothers isn't going to be... Here's the thing. Some people are saying that Warner Brothers isn't going to be at Comic-Con this year. That's not true. Warner Brothers is going to have a presence at Comic-Con. How big or how small, we're not sure. One of the things we know for sure, and fact checker Jonathan's going to cover this a little bit more in the movie news feed in a bit, but is, for instance, It Chapter 2 is going to be there. Not in Hall H. They're doing their own little thing called Scare Diego instead of San Diego. I can get it. But they are not going to do the traditional Hall H. That's the big presentation area at Comic-Con that people line up for days to get into. They're not going to be doing their big Hall H production as they have in years past, highlighting and showcasing all their upcoming movies and all that kind of stuff, and they're not going to do it. Now, what makes this particularly, to me at any rate, what makes this particularly odd is the fact that we know Marvel is also not doing a Hall H production. This gives DC the biggest platform in the geek calendar all to themselves. This gives them the platform all to themselves. So it's an interesting choice not to go there. With Marvel, I can understand because they've got their own thing. They got D23, which is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're putting more and more emphasis in there. I kind of get it. But for them, with Marvel gone, to me, that just seems like there's an even bigger opportunity to capture. Now, they could be looking at it in such a way, Rob, that, we actually don't get that much out of Comic-Con. Like, we'll get a big buzz dropping footage, but if we just drop the footage from our studios in Burbank and hit launch on YouTube, we're going to get almost as big as buzz anyway. And the reality is at Comic-Con, while 200,000 people go to it, the Hall H only holds 6,000 people. You're talking about 3% of the attendees actually get in and sit in on the panel anyway. So you can put out news reactions and all that kind of stuff, but still, Rob, I think this is a missed opportunity. I think this is a missed opportunity for Warner Brothers. They've got major comic book films coming out. We got Joker coming out. We got Birds of Prey coming out. We've got Suicide Squad 2 they're working on. They've got all this stuff, not to mention Godzilla versus King Kong. And hell, don't you think they need a little bit of a PR bump for this Godzilla and King Kong universe right now? Like, I just don't get when there's such a prime opportunity. Marvel's not there. You got the stage to yourself. Take advantage of it. So, I don't know. I don't think it's the stupidest thing in the world because they can get a lot of buzz just releasing the news anyway. But I don't know, Rob. To me, it's a missed opportunity. What do you think?
Look, this will be my 31st Comic-Con.
Wow.
And when I first moved to LA in '88, I went to Comic-Con. I drove down to San Diego and went to my first Comic-Con. But I've been to other conventions before that, but my first San Diego. And I think, I honestly hate to say this, but I would like to see, I think this is just the beginning of Comic-Con making a readjustment to itself, how the studios have been spending lots of money to make these big splashes in Hall H when they can make just as big of a splash announcing a trailer and dropping it online and getting the same views. There's probably no discernible bump. The reason that Marvel and DC are not doing Hall H is because it doesn't get them anything. I mean, if it got them something, they would do it. But it doesn't, because the world, like you've pointed out with streaming, the world is changing. People are buying their movie tickets online. You don't have to go to these venues anymore. They can achieve worldwide audiences instantaneously on a morning by announcing they're going to drop some footage the night before or the day before or the day before that. And I just think, as much as I hate to say it, I think Hall H has become irrelevant. It's not irrelevant for people that are at Comic-Con and maybe watching the videos later, but I think the studios can control their marketing far more if they don't go to Hall H.
I think there's a lot of truth in what you're saying. At the same time, though, when Comic-Con is going on, the eyes of the genre world are fixed on San Diego.
Yeah.
And there is an opportunity there. But to your point, like you're talking, when you put on these presentations, you are talking about, do you know how hard it is to get 2 superstar actors with their schedules worked out to be in the same place at the same time? Now try to do that with 15. That a lot of them are shooting movies, they're on sets, and you got to disrupt shooting schedules and blah. I remember when at D23 they had who plays Falcon again? We were just talking about
Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie and Chris Evans came to D23 to present some Captain America footage. But they literally had to stop production on their set, put them on a plane, fly them out, get in, show the footage, blah, 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 all for that. And to do that with like 6 films worth of people, it is a logistical nightmare. It's very expensive for them to do it. Again, I see all that and I agree with all that. But I just think particularly with the eyes of the geek and genre world all on San Diego and Marvel ain't going to be there, it just seems like an opportunity. It just seems like an opportunity to me that maybe you take advantage of it this one more time. I don't know. To me, it's a little bit of a mixed thing.
You know what? The world, they've got that anyway now. I mean, they don't have to have Comic-Con. Comic-Con has become, the people that want to get into Hall H can't get into Hall H.
That's true.
And it's become kind of a, bone of contention amongst the fans who go to Comic-Con. And it's Comic-Con has changed. I think it needs to go through a contraction. It needs to go through an evolution. And I think, for fans, now they've got the internet. They know how to manipulate the internet. And as much as I love going into Hall H when it was new. I love to just stroll in and stroll out when I wanted to. Now you can't even do that. And the fans that want to see these things, they get more pushback from people that didn't get in than the people that got to see. Why would they want to go to Hall H where there's any controversy at all? When they can do their own programming, they could do that event at the Crests or at the El Capitan when Kevin Feige did that big. They can do their own event, have people come out who's ever in town, and Kevin Feige himself can announce, here's our and they're going to do it. They're going to do it. They're going to announce their slate for whatever Phase 4 is going to be, and it's going to be a huge event. Huge event.
But here's the funny thing too. Because it's only ever been about 3% of the people actually get into Hall H, Hall H is not the attraction for people to go to Comic-Con.
No.
Like even with, we've seen a dwindling of how many studios and movies actually go to have a presence. Well, they almost all have a presence there, but less and less of them are doing these big Hall H presentations. Yet the attendance numbers keep going up. People, you know why I love going to Comic-Con? Is not for Hall H. I've never gone to Comic-Con for Hall H.
Me neither.
Except for when I had to moderate on Hall H. That's the only time. But other than that, I go because it's awesome being around 200,000 other fans where everybody is happy and celebrating and dressing up and high-fiving each other in the streets. It's good for the soul. That's why I like going to Comic-Con. And I think even with like Warner Brothers maybe not doing a Hall H presentation, it doesn't matter because 97% of the people never got into Hall H anyway. I think you're still going to see Comic-Con explode in popularity. I think we're going to see the biggest audiences in the history of Comic-Con there this year. I know I'm going to be there. By the way, I don't think I've officially announced this before, but this year I am back again. The Masters of the Web panel is happening again at Comic-Con this year. I'll give you more information about that a little bit later. At any rate, so totally get it, Rob. You're right. There's a bunch of reasons why it's not as necessary to go there anymore. The days of when Marvel went there to debut Iron Man footage and that was the thing, those days are gone. It's a different sort of thing now. It's not necessarily worth the hassle of these guys when they can announce it in other places. I still just think there was a missed opportunity, though, specifically just for Warner Brothers.
Well, I don't disagree with you, to be honest. I'm just saying, I was just trying to say why it's not happening. What
I
said,
think you're right.
What you stated eloquently about the attraction of Comic-Con, all of that is still true. Like, I barely, Hall H, I don't even pay attention. I go there for the all of my fellow geeks and having conversations late into the evening while I'm drinking a
good food
beverage of
San
choice
Diego.
And, talking about Starship propulsion systems as I'm on my 10th Jameson. I mean, come on, that's what Comic-Con is all about. And someone's like, hey, man, it's 5 a.m. Don't you have to be on a panel at like 9:30 or 10? Like, oh, yeah, I should get some shut-eye and maybe drink some coffee. That's Comic-Con to me. That's what I'm into.
Hey, Ashley, have you ever been to a Comic-Con yourself?
No, I was going to go last year and it didn't work out. I got like my credentials badge and everything. And then I think I booked something I forget what happened, but I didn't go and I was so bummed about it. But I'm going to try to go. I mean, I will go either maybe this year, definitely the next. Yeah.
Everybody should go.
I have
at
to
least
experience
once.
it. Yeah,
It's just.
I've been wanting to go forever.
It's just this. It's an ocean of positivity.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is there and just having a good time. I remember I was talking to my wife Ann about it. It's like you're walking through the streets of San Diego, and I don't like big crowds, and it's pretty crowded in San Diego downtown when this is going on, but everybody is smiling and having fun and having a good time, and everybody you bump into is a new friend, and it's just there. Like I said it before, I'll say it again. It's just something that's good for the soul, being in an environment like that. And everybody's got to go at least once. I think everybody's got to go at least once. Okay,